All right, this week I have been assigned the principle or concept of timeout. Timeout from positive reinforcement, or simply put, just timeout, is the immediate response contingent withdrawal of the opportunity to earn positive reinforcers or the immediate loss of access to positive reinforcers for a specific time. To function as negative punishment, the timeout procedure must decrease future occurrences of similar behaviors. Implicit in the definition of timeout are three important factors. A is the discrepancy between the time in and the time out environments must be discriminative. B, the response contingent loss of access to reinforcement must occur immediately. And C, the resultant decrease in the future. And those can be found on page 392 of the Cooper textbook. To simplify timeout, it is the removal of the opportunity to earn or access positive reinforcement for a specific time. Timeout can be viewed from a procedural, concept, or conceptual or functional perspective. Procedurally, timeout entails removing the person from a reinforcing environment or prohibiting access to reinforcers within their current environment for a specific period of time, contingent upon occurrence of the problem behavior. There are two basic categories of timeout in applied settings: non-exclusion and exclusion. Non-exclusionary timeout. Non-exclusionary timeout should be as the first choice of punishment. This type of punishment involves the individual remaining physically in the environment. There are four types of non-exclusionary timeouts. The first being planned ignoring. An example is while fighting with a partner, they begin to use profanity, so you decide not to engage in the fight until they stop using the profanity. Number two is to terminate specific reinforcer contact. A toddler begins screaming when a commercial happens. Mom turns off the TV. Three, contingent observation. A football player is flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct and is not allowed to play in the first quarter of the game. Once the second quarter begins, they are allowed to play on the field. And partition space timeout. This is basically like just putting like a little curtain or something that blocks the child and or the person from being able to see like a part of the group, but they're able to still hear and like learn as part of the group. Exclusionary timeout. Exclusionary timeout should not be used as the first choice of timeout. This form of timeout involves physically separating the individual from the environment when the target behavior occurs. There are two types of exclusionary timeouts. Time in setting, participant is removed. This is what we know as timeout. An example is a child being physically aggressive with their siblings, so they're sent to their room. Timeout setting removed from the participant is number two. An example is a nurse is taking her board exam and gets too many questions wrong. Therefore, the computer shuts off and terminates the exam. Timeout has been effective in reducing behaviors such as tantrums, inappropriate social behaviors, yelling, aggression, timeout, spent out of the seat, and inappropriate verbalizations. I want to preface this by saying that my clinic does not implement timeout procedures due to the nature of us being an assent-based program. As a BCBA, however, this is not typically part of treatment plans and actually must be approved by a committee before it's allowed to be written into the behavior intervention plans. This can be used when a client is engaged in physical aggression towards other patients and or themselves, and the only way to protect everyone is for the child to be placed in a safe room until they are able to be co-regulated.